Hello, I'm Nifty Nomi, bookkeeper and business basics educator. Now, this is one of those questions that comes up a lot, and I model it, along with many others, inside my bookkeeping simulation of a Canadian business, where you can practice with real source documents across multiple months. This clip is just one small piece. Details are linked below. Now, onto the solution. Now we are left with these three transactions that we get to attack. And we can see that there is a item returned NSF, there's an NSF fee, and there's also an extra e-transfer. So saying out loud, that's going to be part of the case study source documents, that we know that this is actually going to be Jim sending an e-transfer to cover the bounced check. So one way, if you're doing this sort of a week after and you're like, what check bounced? One way of doing this is 841.85 in the search bar. We're going to go to categorized. And by searching 841, we can see that on May 6th, there was a mobile check deposit from Gymnasium. And then on May 7th, it was returned NSF. So high degree of certainty that this was Jim's payment. So there are actually a few different ways to put a bounced check into the QuickBooks bookkeeping. I'm going to show two today. I'm going to show a long way and I'm going to show a short way. The long way is helpful to track it in the accounts receivable subledger. The long way is also helpful if the bank's already been reconciled and you don't want to have to mess around with clearing and unclearing transactions on a reconciled period. And it also is a great way to show you the inner workings of the accounts receivable subledger. So let's start with that way, and then we'll move on to the quick way next. So this is the longer way. So I'm going to go and find the payment that Jim gave us for $841.85. I could have gone to the customer list and got to it that way. And this did clear the bank. We did have $841 go in, but it did not pay this invoice. This invoice is still unpaid because it got returned to us. So basically, we're keeping the payment, we're just not applying it to the bill. This transaction will create an additional credit in the amount of $841. So Jim is going to have a credit on his account. So I'm going to go ahead and go, and you can even add to the memo, check returned NSF, just so that somebody, if they're looking, wonders why this was not applied to the invoice. We're going to go save and close, and it's like, hey, are you sure you want to have a credit? Yes, I would like to have a credit on the account. So now that this invoice is now unpaid, I can go ahead and add this payment later. But before I do that, let's still deal with this returned item NSF. And so I'm going to go ahead and put this in as an expense. I'm going to say that this was Jim, and the category is accounts receivable, okay? And that it's out of scope. And so now that I've put this to accounts receivable pointing to Gymnasium, I'll go ahead and add. And if I go over to sales customers, what we'll see under Jim's transactions is there's that expense that we just put in, because I said accounts receivable in the body of it, and we can jump to it. Oh, it's right there. From the box here to see what it looks like. We can see it looks like a regular expense, but I've got accounts receivable in the category with Gymnasium, the customer, and the payee. Some people do that with a journal entry. That works as well. But as you can see, this works just as easily. But if I were to show the open balance again column, which I love, and I try to add to all of them, we can see that the expense is open and the payment is open. If we were to go to the accounts receivable report, you'd see them all open and unapplied. So you can see all of these transactions from Gymnasium. I mean, they all add up to him still owing us $841.85, but I want to clear these two off. And the way that I clear these two off is I can go ahead and go into this payment. And instead of this payment of $841 being applied to the invoice, I'm instead going to apply it to that expense. And I can hit save and close. So now when we go back over to sales, customers, and Jim's transactions, we can see that the balance of this expense and payment that we put in is now zero. And the only thing that's open is the $841.85. So Anyway, that's how I've put in the bounced check. So let's see how I would do it a different way. So to do it a different way, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to delete these things that I've put in. So you're going to go more, delete, delete. And then this payment. Well, that's part of the discussion over on the bank feed here. So if I'm here in the bank feed and I see, oh, that check, it was actually bounced. Oh, I got to fix that, right? We can go ahead and go to categorized. We can go find that payment there. We can say more delete because he didn't actually pay. Instead of matching this mobile check deposit in as a payment to an open invoice here, I'm going to change what this shortcut way is doing and say, actually categorize this, please. This is a deposit. It is from Gymnasium, right? And it's actually going to go to a general ledger account that I call NSF error clearing. And I use this for in and outs. I don't exclude them. They actually happened. I want to see them go through the bank and I want to see them on the bank statement, but they're just temporarily so. They're reversed later sort of thing. So that's what my NSF error clearing GL account is for these reversed things. And we could say in the memo, you know, the check number 022, if you remember that is what it was, paid by Jim, returned next day, like that. So we know to look out for it. So we're going to go ahead and hit add. And when we do that, there is going to now be a balance in our NSF error clearing GL account. So I'm going to just go head over to reports and I'm going to jump to the balance sheet so that you can see that as of May 9th, we actually have a balance in our NSF clearing of $841, and we want that to go to 0. You always want your NSF error clearing general ledger account to go to 0. It's kind of like a bridge that you use to put something, or a shelf. I'll just put it on the shelf until later. So let's go back to this transaction. Here is the NSF check. So who is that from? That's from Gymnasium. And it's not accounts receivable. We want to take it off of the shelf now. Take it out of the clearing account. So there we go. We're going to go ahead and hit add. And now if I were to go into this NSF clearing account, the balance is now 0, because you can see here it's coming out of there for the mobile check and then going back in when the check is returned NSF. So using an NSF clearing account, and now you can see it's back to 0, that is another way to deal with bounced checks. But I don't love it. It's useful, but the reason I don't love it is because if we go over to sales now and we go over to customers and we pull up Gymnasium, we don't necessarily see that he gave us a bounced check. So the first way that I showed you that was a little bit longer, actually didn't take that long, it shows us the actual history of the payment and the bounce in the accounts receivable in the customer transaction list. So that's why I actually prefer the other way. So I'm going to quickly put it back the way it was. And I can do that just by going here and saying the last two things I put in, please delete. So more, delete, delete, which pops it back up there for me. And then here, the deposit, we'll just go ahead and delete that one as well. Delete, those are the two things I put in. And I'm going to refresh this so that QuickBooks adds the payment option to match. Now, while I'm here, it's an important distinction. This is not matching to the payment that we put in. I deleted that for illustrative purposes, right? I deleted that check 022 that bounced. And so because I deleted it, it's offering up an open invoice. So this should actually say add payment and match, right? But it's not matching to existing payments. That invoice right now is unpaid. It's ready to be paid, receive payment. And if I were to go ahead and hit match, it's going to add the payment and then match it. So when it said open balance, that's very important for you to notice. Again, you're going to be click happy, right? We're going to look in week 3 of May. Sarah's going to bill out like 4 different jobs at $565. And we're going to see how that offering up a match for a payment that's not yet entered can help us be a bit click happy and maybe misallocate payments. So these are important distinctions to be aware of. So before we go and fix that payment, let's go back and take this NSF, and not to NSF clearing, but to accounts receivable. And let's go ahead and hit add. So now when I go back to the payment that we just entered, I can just say, nope, this didn't pay the invoice, it paid the NSF expense entry. So again, I think I called it the long way, but it's actually pretty quick, isn't it? So save and close. Yes. So we're almost done. We have the NSF fee, and then we have the e-transfer of Gymnasium giving us back not only the money for the check that bounced, but also covering the NSF fee. So first of all, the NSF fee is pretty easy. It is from Canada Bank is charging us a fee. So we put their name in, and they're charging us bank charges. And that is 0 rated, like this. Oh, yep. Does it say bank charges? It does. Sorry, add. And now how do we put in this amount that was received? There are going to be a few different ways to do this. I'm just going to go ahead and show you the way that I would do it. So let's go ahead and add a new payment on May 8th from Jim. And we're going to say new. We're going to say receive payment from a customer, Gymnasium, and that was on May 8th. And it was, I'm going to make this a combined deposit, right? He's paying an invoice and giving us some bank fees that that were incurred because of him. So when I do a combined deposit, I use undeposited funds. So he's paying all of his invoice, $841. And I'm also going to say e-transfer plus 40 for fee. Plus 40, I'll say, just in that reference number. I could have put that down in the memo. Payment total was $881.85 to cover $40 NSF fee, like that. Crumbs everywhere. Otherwise, people will think he just gave us $841.45 if they're looking at the transaction list for Jim. So if I go over to sales, customers, oh, he was up there. Jim, we can see that having that information in there will help people realize he gave us more than $841 because it's not showing us $881 here. Then I'm going to go to new bank deposit, and I'm going to say on May 8th, Jim gave us $841, but he also gave us Gymnasium bank charge. He reimbursed us those bank charges. That's how I'm going to put this one in, of $40, and that's out of scope. He just sort of reimbursed us. This isn't a rebilling. When things are rebilling, we're going to have a topic for that coming down the pipeline. For this is just a quick $40 that he's covering that was charged to us by the bank. So this is one of the ways to do that. So now that I've manually entered this combined deposit, it totals $881.45. His e-transfer plus the 40, putting it towards bank charges. Going to go save and close. We're going to go back to the transactions. And there it is, ready for us to marry to the QuickBooks transaction. And we are now done. So I did not use Find Match today. There were a couple of times where I could have used Find Match, and there is a reason why I didn't. And I'm going to reveal that reason in next week's case study course documents. We're going to do Find Match. We're going to see what it does and why I don't love it. This clip is taken from one of the walkthroughs inside the Grand Gate Gardens real-world bookkeeping simulation. This Canadian business simulation includes multi-month practice work, downloadable source documents and bank feeds, common error spot check questions, and guided walkthroughs. If you found this video useful, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I'm also on Instagram at BeThatBusiness, and you can tweet at me X at me. I'm at Nifty Nomi, and I'm also at Nifty Nomi on Twitch and TikTok. And you can find resources and courses about running a Canadian business on my website, naomiwilkins.ca. I love making business make sense. The video today was recorded in beautiful Oshawa, Ontario. Thanks so much for watching, and get out there and be that business that thrives.